then?
You're singing
From this show.
Shake It Off and
Horrific.
Shake It Up. Shake It Off and Shake It Up.
Horrific.
5 minutes later.
Okay.
For this week's opening song, we're gonna at the same time start to sing, and we're gonna try and sync it up to the right song.
Oh God. Okay.
Like, so we're on
Let's
the same
stare
page.
into each other's eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, like that doesn't. Anyway, okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
The 7 things I hate about you.
Oh, no! I was gonna sing "Shake It Up" by Taylor Swift because we were just talking about it, and I thought that was the easy answer.
Well, I was thinking that, but then that led me to Disney, and that's where it got me to Miley. So
I listened to 7 Things on the way here.
iconic. Wow. I feel like this is a prime example of how different brains work from the same starting point and get to 2 different places.
Wow. Imagine you being
Science?
analytical.
I know.
What are the 7 things? The 7 things I hate about you.
Your hair, your eyes, your rose of eyes, I'm hypnotized. You make me laugh, you make me cry.
I don't know which side to buy.
Your hand in mine, we're intertwined. I think I'm singing the wrong part. That's the good stuff.
Oh yeah. Wait, what was the middle bit?
I'm hypnotized. You make me laugh. You make me cry. I don't know which
Make me
side.
laugh. You make me cry. I don't know which side to
Bye.
buy. Your friends
And
are
your
jerks when they act like them, even though it hurts. I wanna be with the one I love. And the 7th thing I hate the most that you do.
You make me love you.
Iconic. What a great song.
That is a great song.
Miley really said, Disney star, I'ma redefine it.
She did though. She
did.
was right. And you know what? She's an icon for it.
There was a quote recently that came out. It was like Miley Cyrus quote. The second the second I had sex for the first time is the second I stopped wanting to play Hannah Montana on Disney.
That's so fucking funny.
That's so funny.
I love both that revelation and also her honesty in telling everybody that.
Absolutely. Welcome to What the Fuck Is Happening, the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone.
I'm Nick.
I'm Maddie.
And you are a person.
Yes.
Okay, first order of business is on one of our last, I think like 2 weeks ago episode or something, we got a comment on YouTube by one of our listeners.
Oh, God.
Who made a comment, and it cracked me up, and I cannot stop thinking about it, and they are so correct.
Okay.
Basically, they commented on YouTube on one of our video podcasts and said, love the podcast.
Oh, God.
But with the camera angle and seating positions, it always looks like Maddie is the host and Nick is the guest.
That's so funny.
And I said, that's hilarious, and you're absolutely right, and now I can't unsee it. So I was going to suggest we switch places.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Right now?
you can be the guest and I can be the host.
We can do that next week because I've already set the roadcaster to the right settings.
Wow. Okay, so
Sorry, commenter.
sorry, commenter, even though you are completely right and I agree with you and I can't unsee it.
I don't think Nicholas would be able to handle this seat of power.
I think I would, and I don't think it's about power.
Oh,
I
wow.
think it's more that I'm face on.
Oh, no, I meant you wouldn't be able to handle having the roadcaster.
No, I know what you
when
meant.
to press the buttons?
I know what you meant. But I'm saying I think the real power position is here. Because you're staring straight
at the camera. That's really fair. I mean, for general context, the only reason...
General context.
Okay. The only reason why this has always kind of happened is literally just because... I own the studio and I own the equipment, so I've always just been like,
okay.
I'll use it.
Wow.
But you know what? I'm cool to switch.
Didn't you do it when we were recording like the first 15 episodes at the other place?
No, we mixed. It would depend. Well, I mean, yeah, because it was to peen us.
It was a penis. Today's clearly a great day for Maddie for speaking, which makes me so happy she has an audio format medium podcast.
Fuck. Actually, you know what? It won't even matter next week because we're going to be in the other room. I'm switching the room over. So
That soon.
yeah. Well, I mean, if I can get chairs, but hopefully next week. So
Everyone, look up for a switch up in space.
yeah. Very exciting.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, we can switch if you want now.
No,
The last time, a last hurrah in this room.
No. No.
I don't want it. No. Do you know what, though? I appreciate you, commenter, for realizing that I do, in fact, hold the power in this relationship and this podcast.
Okay,
I am
let's move on.
the host.
So this week's episode, we're going to try and keep it to an hour. It's already been 5 minutes, so who knows?
Fuck.
Oof. We actually have 3 things to review this week, but we also have some pop culture news.
I also would like to review this water bottle.
That one was for you. That one goes out to all the ladies in the audience tonight.
What was the second thing you said? I got really distracted by my water bottle.
We also have pop culture news.
Oh, okay. Right.
I'm sure it is what it is.
That is what our podcast is about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool. Wow. Should I start?
Do you have something?
Yes, I actually do, because I've been fucking seeing it on my TikTok for the past 4 days, and it hasn't gone away yet.
Okay, what is it?
Well, you'll 100% already know this, but so this is about Doja Cat and Noah Schnapp. You don't know this?
No, I don't.
Oh, I was going to say,
I'm going to convince you. This is the audio visuals I have.
Iconic. Okay, amazing, because this topic is sending me.
Run down the situation.
We all know how good I am at that. It started with Doja saying on Twitter that she had a crush on Joseph Quinn, the dude who plays Eddie Munson in the new season of Stranger Things. Am I doing well so far?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then she DM'd Noah Schnapp. Is that how you say his name? On Instagram. And she was like, set me up with Joseph. Does he have a girlfriend? Should I slide into his DMs? Noah replied and said, this is him. This is where you should contact him. But then he made a TikTok about it, which was so fucking funny. And then Doja went on Instagram Live and was like, Noah is a snake. Why would he share our private communications? And for the past 3 days, all I've been seeing on TikTok is people being like, Noah's 17 years old. She's 26. Why was she messaging him in the first place about this? And it's also not that deep. It was a public crush that she had already admitted to on Twitter. Why is she acting like he's sharing information that no one knew?
Okay. Is that what your take is as well?
Yes.
Okay, I have a different take.
Oh, I don't know if that's what my
also-
take is, but...
She never tweeted about it or anything. Having a crush.
Oh, there you go.
That was, anyway. No, okay, so.
I don't know. I mean, mostly my take is, why are we still talking about this?
The screenshot reads, Noah, can you tell Joseph to hit me up? Wait, no, does he have a girlfriend? And then Noah says, LMAO, slide into his DMs. And she says, I don't know his Instagram or Twitter. He doesn't have a DM to slide in. And then he just sent a link to Joseph's Instagram and said, right here, ma'am. That's it. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's all that he posted, at least.
To answer your question about why she's messaging him about this, it's because they have a previous friendship.
That makes sense.
You can see my
She unfollowed him on Instagram now.
Detective vision. You can see they've had a past conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's liked to comment or he's liked to comment. Presumably they have an artistic relationship.
Makes sense.
Where they like each other's work.
Yeah,
and
that's
bonded
really
over
fair.
that. So they have already talked in the past. That's why she would ask him over anyone else on the cast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really don't have opinion.
And then, okay, wait, let's listen to what she said.
Okay.
Because I have what she said about him.
Showing DMs between him and Doja Cat. It seems like Doja Cat went on TikTok Live and addressed the situation.
The Noah Schnapp thing, to be fair, this is like a kid. When you're that young, you make mistakes. You do dumb shit, you say dumb shit, you fucking fuck up relationships with people. Like, went and posted a private conversation between me and him. So unbelievably, like, socially unaware and whack. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like borderline snake shit. Like, that's like weasel shit.
Also said in the live quote.
Thank you to King Asante on TikTok for actually
Whack.
recording that and everything. But my take is that I'm on Doja Cat's side. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Everyone's like, why is this grown woman starting a beef with a 17-year-old
Yeah.
boy? And I'm like, he's a 17-year-old boy.
It's true. It's really true.
He's been in the business
Yeah.
for 6+ years.
Yeah. It's true. He's not a kid.
What's going to change?
Yeah.
Like, the day he turns 18, what's going to change from the day before to the day he turns 18?
It's true.
It'll make him suddenly go, oh, I should respect people's privacies, especially other celebrities.
Yeah, it's really true. I mean, I don't have an opinion because I'm so over this. It's still going on. But like, I would agree. Like, in the scheme of things, is it a harmless thing to have shared of a conversation? Yes. Should he have done it? No.
It's not even that he shouldn't have done it. He should have just asked permission.
Also true. That's true.
I feel almost 100% positive she would have said yes.
That's really fair.
But because it was against her knowledge, I completely understand her feeling that way.
Yeah, I mean, half of those things she said I feel like was not the right things to say, I think, but like...
She said socially unaware. I agree, it was socially unaware.
Yeah, sure.
Borderline snake.
I think that's too far.
Why?
I mean, I think you just...
She didn't call him like a fucking tub thumper.
No, I mean, I know. I don't know. I just think that she shouldn't call people that when it really wasn't that bad. But
Is it because he's a 17-year-old?
no. Because
I
don't
get
think-
the very uncomfortable feeling that if this was a 17-year-old, if this happened when Millie Bobby Brown was 17
Yeah.
and she did this,
Yeah.
everyone would not be on her side. This is,
That's fair.
to me, personally, it feels very much like a boys will be boys situation.
That's fair. That's fair. I would agree with that.
And I do think he's in the wrong. I don't think it's that serious.
yeah.
I do think that she's overreacting a tiny little bit, whatever. But I do think he was in the wrong, and I think
Yeah.
he should own up to that. And I think the overwhelming response of pretty much everyone on the internet under all of her posts nonstop with like 10,000 likes saying, why is she starting a beef with a 17-year-old when she's 26?
Yeah.
All this stuff. I'm like, he's a grown-ass male boy.
It's true. No, it is true. And like, as you said, yeah.
And with Taylor Swift and the Kanye Kim situation, have we learned nothing about sharing private
No,
texts
It is true.
without permission?
It is really true. And I think what you said, no, it's true. He shouldn't have done it
I
without
truly
permission.
believe that if it was a female, it would not be a boys will be boys situation. He's 17. How is he meant to know better?
I mean, it shouldn't really be that anyway because he's, as you say, he's fucking 17. It's not like...
That's everyone's arguments on social media.
Yeah. No, sure. I think everyone's just being like... I think because they think there's such a huge difference between 17 and 26 that, like, she's been, like, the one in, like, this position of power is what I'm going to say, which is absolutely just not relevant to the conversation because
Yeah, that's not
he's
relevant here.
17.
I agree.
Should
That's
know
not
better.
relevant. And also, they're both massive celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't think there is a position
Yeah.
of power there for starters.
Yeah,
And two, it's a text conversation.
sure. I think it's an age thing is what I mean by the power. But like it's not like relevant because he didn't do anything that bad, but he shouldn't have done it still. You know, it's not like he's fucking like
Correct.
it's not like she's
He should have apologized and taken it down instead of leaving it up for like 2 days.
He has taken it down now, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
yeah.
If I keep seeing
Yeah.
boys will be boys type defenses, I'm going to lose my shit.
Well, that's fair. I mean,
And he's 17.
even an age
It shouldn't be,
defense
he's 17. It should be, he's 17.
Yeah, for sure,
You know?
for sure. He's not, yeah.
And that's my take, is that he's a fucking grown-up.
And as you say, it's not like he's new to this. He's been a celebrity
Correct.
for 6 years. It's not like this is his first time being in the spotlight and he doesn't know how to handle himself.
Exactly.
In which you could kind of, again, there'd be a bit more, be like, oh, I don't think you get how much privacy matters. But yeah, there's like not really any actual defense
I agree.
to anything. Yeah.
Having said all that, did you see the video from In the Pandemic, Lovato, when Millie Bobby Brown did an Instagram live with Noah Schnapp? Because they're like best friends in real life or something.
Yeah. I don't know which one it is.
Basically, she just like requested Instagram live. And he answers it thinking it's just a video call.
Iconic.
And he's like, Millie, you're not going to believe this. And goes on like a 2-minute rant about his mum taking away his computer.
Oh, no.
Because he did something bad or something.
That's so funny.
And Millie's just standing there smiling. And then she goes, Noah, this is an Instagram live. And he goes, ooh.
Oh,
It's so funny. It's so funny.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, anyway, final thoughts on this topic is that, you know what my final thought is? That neither of them have done anything that bad.
Yeah.
They're both just done silly things.
I would agree with that.
Neither matters, and everyone's blowing it way out of proportion.
Way out of proportion.
Did you, when you first heard about it all, did you just assume it was a joke feud?
No.
Oh, I assumed it was a joke feud.
Oh. No, because I didn't actually watch Doja's video. I just saw people being like, oh my God, she called Noah a snake. And I was like, oh, this is all a bit wild.
This is how misinformation spreads, Maddie.
Sure. And then I just never watched any other thing to do with it because all these fucking TikToks
Let me
kept
guess,
coming up.
you tweet articles without actually reading them.
Obviously.
You get your news from Facebook. Mark my word, next episode in the brand new space, we're going to rock up. Maddie's going to have a MAGA hat.
Oh my God.
She's going to be supporting a Fags Go to Hell.
Now I
sign.
have to do that.
You're falling down the rabbit hole. She's going to unvaccinate herself.
Somehow. Do you know what? I actually went to book in to get my third vax because, and I can't get it until 3 months after I've had COVID. And I'm like,
Was it 3 months?
3 months.
Oh, that's a long time.
It is a long time. It's actually only going to be the end of this month. It'll be 3 months since I got my positive test, but still. Rude. Anyway.
That's a long time. I thought it was like 3 weeks.
No. I think it's supposed to be because you technically have the antibodies from COVID, so you don't need a third one.
But apparently that doesn't really matter with the new B4 and 5 variants.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But that's also the thing with all these variants is that like every 2 months a new variant comes along.
Yeah.
And like we don't have enough information to conclusively say
anything.
if it's more, if it's still targeting like vaccinated people or if it's targeting people who've already had COVID.
Yeah.
So it's like we're doing the best we can with the knowledge we have.
Which is
kind of
none.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really fair.
You know?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on, shall we?
Okay. That's all my news. There's probably other things that I remember, but
That's it.
yeah, I think so. Oh, well, I have actually shockingly have written down 2 what the fucks for this week, so I can bring one of them up as a general conversation.
I have none.
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll bring one of them up as general conversation while you're typing away, which is...
I have 2. One of them can be a topic conversation.
Okay, one of them is this week here in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, well, last week, I suppose. I don't know. Today's Sunday. Last week in Australia,
Yes.
not all of, a very large portion of Sydney and New South Wales flooded again
I know.
for like the 4th time in 6 months. Anyway, but our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese.
That was a struggle.
Yeah, it did take me a second to get there. was overseas when it happened. He was over in the Ukraine on a diplomatic mission. And everyone, not everyone, a lot of people on Twitter and in particular the Sunday Morning Herald, this is a really long story.
It's a very serious conversation.
Right.
But twice you've like self-regulated yourself.
Yeah.
And have like checked your what's it called?
My exaggerations.
Yeah, your exaggerations. That's iconic. Anyway, continue. Sydney Morning Herald.
Yeah, have made these like posts and articles online being like, oh my God, Anthony Albanese won this election based on saying he's not going to be like Scott Morrison, except now he did exactly what Scott Morrison did and he left our country when we were in the midst of a national disaster.
What?
I know, because you remember when ScoMo he went to Hawaii.
But he went on holidays.
Went on holidays after the fires had already started. Fires started here in Australia. He was like, I'm not dealing with that, went on a holiday.
Correct.
Whereas obviously this is a very completely, absolutely different situation in which Anthony was already overseas and actually working.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my what the fuck was going to be, why are people so stupid? Why do they think those two situations are the same thing? And he fucking came back like the next day anyway. Like
the right-wing politics peoples are so fucking absurd to me and don't understand nuance even when it's that fucking clear.
Yeah.
This week I saw a tweet by a Trump supporter who was like, the last letters in Republican spell I can, as in I can do it.
What?
The last letters in Democrats says rats. And that is all you need to know. And I was like, honey, I don't think you should be basing your political beliefs on that.
Wow.
Like your morals and standards and political beliefs on that kind of shit, you know?
That's such an insight into the way their minds work, isn't it?
It's insane. It's absurd. It's crazy.
That is absurd.
Yeah, and that's that on that.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, that was it.
Let's move on to another serious topic.
Okay.
Okay, have you seen this week?
No.
Yeah, I believe you. This week, the trailer for the movie coming out next year, it's or late this year.
No, definitely not.
It's called Amsterdam.
No.
Okay, well, the trailer for Amsterdam came out this week.
Okay. Have you been seeing the pictures of the Barbie movie? It looks amazing.
It looks phenomenal, and I'm so glad that you and I have been covering it since, 6 months before they started filming.
So true.
This should be the Barbie coverage podcast, okay?
Oh my God, I'm in.
Okay, so no. This movie, Amsterdam, I think it's like a mystery comedy drama thing.
Okay.
Listen to this cast.
Oh God, okay.
It's stacked.
Is it? Okay.
But this isn't the point. This isn't why it's serious. Okay.
Oh.
Christian Bale.
Okay.
Margot Robbie.
Love that.
John David Washington.
Interesting. Oh my God. Wow, they're so good.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. I spelled a cold brew. I'm sorry for Maddie for having to deal with this. Chris Rock. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, wow.
Zoe Saldana.
Huh.
Mike Myers.
Wow.
Michael Shannon. I mean, Michael Shannon. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You do, if you saw him.
Okay.
Timothy Olyphant.
Wow. Oh, I fucking love that dude.
Andrea Riseborough. Taylor Swift.
What
Matthias Schoenaerts. I don't know who that is. Rami Malek and Robert De Niro and Alessandro Nivola. I don't know who some of those
What?
But
What is this movie about? Why are so many people in it?
Right? A fucking stacked cast, yeah?
I always get so scared when that happens because I'm like, oh my God, how much money are they paying these
Okay,
actors?
the director is David O. Russell. You know David O. Russell of Silver Lining Playbook, American Hustle. Is that what it's called? American Hustle.
I see.
Those ones.
It's all making sense. They all think they're going to get an Oscar.
So, this man, David O. Russell, has a long history of on sets abusing the
Oh.
not
Oh.
of like physically
Right.
assaulting people on set, the actors on set, Christian Bale, Amy Adams,
Oh my God.
like getting physical with his anger and stuff if a scene's not going right or whatever, okay? So that's one thing. I can kind of understand that people still want to work with extreme directors if they
We're going to win an Oscar.
are going to win an Oscar or whatever. This man in 2011 admitted to sexually assaulting his niece.
Oh.
So she filed a police report about sexual assault, and he said, "Yeah, I did that." Okay, so basically, his niece is trans.
Oh, wait, no, I saw something about this.
Yeah, okay, so she's trans, and the situation was apparently he was helping her with some work, with like a workout with ab exercises, in which he was like hovering his hand over her private parts and all this kind of stuff. And then he asked about her breasts.
The breasts.
Her breasts. And he like essentially fully under the shirt without her permission. Full went under her shirt and was like groping her and touching her like that.
That's horrific.
He then confirmed it happened, and you want to know what his excuse was?
No, fine, tell me.
She was acting very provocative towards me.
What the fuck? How old was she?
19.
Whack. Wow.
So people are then wondering, why are people like Taylor Swift, Margot Robbie, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, who else on here was Rami Malek, who have specifically made stands during the Me Too movement to forward the cause, and then they do this. This is a well-known incident. Even it came out in like the 20... Do you remember when there was that massive hack?
No.
Of all the studios and stuff, and all these Sony
vaguely,
emails got like hacked.
Yeah.
It came up in that. The studios know about it. They were ready to do damage control back in 2014. But people are then saying, like, why is this cast of people who have been so supportive of the Me Too movement and standing against workplace harassment and stuff are then working with someone who's admitted to sexually assaulting their niece?
See, the thing I don't get about situations like this is that I am pretty okay with... Like, I don't think that it's a celebrity's responsibility to know everything about everyone and all the bad things they've done. Like, I didn't know about that situation. I don't think it's a celebrity that needs to know about that. But what I do think is that they have enough money and they have enough power and they have enough people around them for somebody to know.
There's no way they don't know. It's quite literally an entire paragraph on his Wikipedia page.
That's wild. But I mean, like, there is no way that many people, as you say, were not
aware.
We're not told
them,
in some capacity by somebody who worked. Yeah, their teams. So then why?
I get what you mean.
Yeah, so it's not on the individual celebrity.
I do think it is on. In this case, I think it's if it's a well-publicized case or a well-publicized event.
Well, so this is what I mean. Like, I think that it has to, in the end, be on the celebrity, because how could they not know? How could they not have been told?
There's no way.
Yeah, exactly.
When it was announced, I'm sure fans were in the comments saying, yo, rethink this.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then people also like, with Bohemian Rhapsody and Rami Malek, Bryan Singer's past in accusations, the director of that.
Oh, no.
Bryan Singer directed Bohemian Rhapsody and the first 3 X-Men movies and a couple of the later ones. And he's like credibly been accused and like investigated for sexually abusing underage boys. Notoriously for like 15, 20 years.
Did the actors get cast first?
No, the director's usually on board.
Yeah.
And Rami Malek, especially during the Bohemian Rhapsody press tour and with the Oscar, he won the Oscar for it and stuff, was making a point to say, I donated money and I feel really bad and I regret working with Bryan Singer, who has these accusations and stuff, and I think it was a bad choice of me to do this.
Yeah.
And then he goes and works with David O. Russell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It just confuses me. There's no way that every single cast member did not know.
Yeah.
I
not told
agree
at some
in certain
point.
situations where it's like, I don't know why the team wouldn't tell them if it was like a thing back in the 90s where, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
They've since made amends or
Yeah.
redeemed themselves or whatever. But with something that like that was this widely publicized and like, there's no way they didn't know. And I just don't understand why they do this.
Yeah, it doesn't really make... Yeah. It's really not a very good reflection on them because, again, even if they didn't know originally, at some point, somebody will have had to have made them aware, right?
The only
And
thing
so what reason do you have for still going ahead with it aside from the selfish, well, I don't care because it will get me an Oscar, I'm making money, blah, 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 which is just really fucked up.
Yeah, correct. And even I'll be interested to see on the press tour who actually participates and who doesn't. I know a lot of the time it's in their contracts if that they'll do a press tour, but I can't imagine this will be a fun press tour.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm really disappointed, especially in Taylor Swift and Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Because Rami Malek specifically has stated,
Yeah.
I'm going to be careful from now on.
Yeah.
Why? Taylor Swift has been such an advocate, and then, you know, there's no way she hasn't known about this. And she was also in hot water for writing a song for the Where the Crawdads Sing movie.
I did see that. I did see this.
Which personally I think is kind of dumb. I don't think she should be in trouble for that. But, because do you know what happened with that?
The writer of the book, I think, I'm not sure.
So apparently,
Issues.
yeah, I think her husband was like her ex-husband, sorry, from the 90s was like incredibly racist. And may or may not have killed someone. And for some reason, Delia Owens, the wife, is like still being held accountable.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she has to do with that.
30 years later for this kind of stuff.
I
which is
feel
confusing
like
to
I
me.
did hear somewhere someone said the book is really racist, but I don't know if that's true. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that, but I'd probably believe it, to be honest. Yeah, she's like still being held accountable for, because apparently her and her husband and her nephew or something were like really hardcore animal rights activists, and were going to like Africa into safari grounds and hunting grounds and stuff, and saving animals or
Whack.
all that kind of stuff. And apparently the husband or the nephew, I can't remember which one, literally killed someone
Oh my God.
for poaching on their land.
Whack.
They're like, she's a wanted woman in Africa. She will
Whack.
be arrested upon arrival.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, look, I'm sure her hands aren't clean in especially the racism. But I don't know that Taylor Swift is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that this is the same type of situation, you know?
Well, there's like a lot of points of contact there for it to get to Taylor Swift and her being held accountable for that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of like things in between
Yeah.
what happened and Taylor.
Yeah. But anyway, my mom bought the book, so I'm gonna read it and I'll tell you if it's got any racist
Issues.
undertones or overtones.
Yeah, it's just blatant.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I would imagine there would have been more backlash if they were like these major stars were adapting a racist book.
Yeah.
Like it's Reese Witherspoon is
Yeah.
like an executive producer on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who am I to talk about it? I'm white and a male.
Yeah, I don't know. There's only so far that you can kind of like trust said accusations, particularly on a place like TikTok or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, every time I see something about like, hey, don't read this, it's the author's racist or something, or said something racist, I always Google it. And frankly, to be totally honest, 9 times out of 10, it's true. but then I saw, what was it, on TikTok? There was a big controversy because a book that was included in a bunch of like you know those subscription services where you get like
Yeah.
a book with like merch and books in it every month?
Yeah.
There's a book that was included in a bunch of them, which apparently I think the author had some racist stuff happen or anti-gay. I don't remember. They were controversial for some reason, and by controversial I mean bigoted pigs. TikTok was going off about that, but then they were like, hey, this female Asian TikToker who's really big in the space, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and reviews the books and stuff. She gave it a 5-star review on Goodreads. And like, right, I love this book. So she's racist or / homophobic, whatever it was, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that feels like a bit of a reach. That
Yeah.
if she was completely unaware of the situation, read an advanced copy of the book and gave it a 5-star review, that she's now racist for reviewing it or homophobic or whatever.
Yeah.
That felt like a stretch.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with that.
And in cases like that, I'm glad I Google it.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess it depends on like the book and what's actually in the book. But if it's just something the author says, it's like, yeah, I was going to say it's like a Harry Potter, but like we didn't know back then that J.K. Rowling was an atrocious human being.
Yeah.
So that's no one's fault for liking the book back then, you know?
Also, she's just like overtly transphobic now on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gone from being like, I have nothing against people wanting to be trans. I have everything against them wanting to be calling themselves women. But now it's full on like trans people don't deserve rights. We should be not letting them transition, all this stuff.
Jesus.
They're all pedophiles. Like,
Jesus.
she's full on QAnon now.
Wow.
Which is scary.
That's horrific.
Anyway, let's move on to
Yeah,
some
like
different topics.
something lighthearted. Fuck.
Anyway, any of that stuff, just Google it. I'm sure there'll be more intricate accounts than what we've said today. Anyway. Oh, this is a fun one. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk has another 2 kids.
Oh my God, I did see this. I was going to send the news article to you and be like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I figured you already
Do you know the full
knew.
context?
Not really, but I think that they, like, he had... I couldn't figure out or find out whether or not he and Grimes were separated at the time, but he had sex with this other woman and this other woman's had twins last year.
Yeah, so he cheated on Grimes.
Oh my God.
They were together. He cheated on Grimes with a top executive at what's his business called?
Horrific. Tesla?
No, the other one, the spacey one,
The
Neuralink.
SpaceX. Oh.
the one that sends the
Right,
satellite
that's
internet.
right. Yeah, okay, it's all coming back to
Okay,
me.
yeah. So he cheated with this woman who's a top executive at Neuralink, which is his business. He cheated on Grimes. She got pregnant and had 2 kids.
Yeah.
That brings him to a total of 9 kids.
9, yep.
Keeping in mind, like 3 years ago, he did an interview where he said, I don't interact with my children until
Horrific.
they're like 16.
Horrific.
That's the mother's job. That's
my
that's the female's job to raise them for all those years. And then I can come in and teach them about business
Oh my God.
and money and stuff. So one, he's a pig. because he's
Disgusting.
making all these babies and then abandoning them.
Oh my God.
And yesterday, guess what he tweeted? It was really gross. Okay, he tweeted, basically, he said, underpopulation is a real issue that we're going to need to deal with.
What?
And then his next tweet said, doing my part to stop underpopulation, lol. In regards to him having sex with a top executive at his business, like one of his underlings, whilst cheating on his girlfriend, who was pregnant, you know?
That's horrific.
And then he still gets like 500,000 likes, and all the bros are like, yes, yes.
That's horrific.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
why are these incel nerdy boys
Why do they like him so much?
literally, because he's
Yeah, I actually
He
can
is
see
one.
why. Yeah, it's like he is there.
He is one.
He is the ultimate alpha to them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. This whole situation's gross.
Do you know they're completely not related to how gross that is? I saw. Oh my god, when was it? Maybe a year or so ago. When maybe even longer. When the stuff in the US really started to kind of hit the fan around abortion, and the southern states were starting to kind of take rights away. I saw this really interesting post somewhere, and they were like, I don't think that it's a coincidence that we have an aging population, very little growth in terms of our birth rate, and so all of the older people are getting really concerned that they're not going to have enough of a working force to be able to maintain their profits in their massive companies. And that is exactly what that just threw me back to. I was like, fuck, maybe they were right. It felt a bit like conspiracy theorist at the time, but holy shit. Elon Musk out here basically confirming it.
Yeah.
Whack.
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what he's saying, yes.
That's horrific.
He's got no regard for anything. Oh, and also his other one was,
my God.
he said, this is the third tweet was, the first one was like, underpopulation is a real thing. The birth rate's declining. We're in major trouble. And then the next one was doing my part to stop underpopulation, lol. And then the third tweet was, currently Mars's population is 0.
Oh, no.
Implying he's going to
gonna
keep having
send
hundreds of thousands of children
and send them to Mars.
to send to Mars to live in a
God.
little Elon Musk offspring colony.
That's horrific. He's going to be the new Genghis Khan. You know how like 1/3 of the world is, they think is
Supposedly,
related to
yeah.
Genghis Khan. Yeah, this is what it's going to be like, except Elon Musk. Wow. Do you know what? I don't have any problem with that as long as he distributes his wealth between all of them. Give it back
As
to the people. That's horrific. No, that is horrific
Yeah, just
for so many reasons.
It's really gross to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
Oh God, fucking Elon Musk.
I mean, kind of sticking to topics we've already been talking about. I have started catching back up on The Good Fight,
Oh yeah.
the TV show The Good Fight. I'm 2 seasons behind. Because when the pandemic happened, season 4 came out, and I was like, I can't deal with
That's fair.
shows that are really heavy in topic right now because
Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
already too light. And now it's been 2 years, and I'm finally catching back up. And the season 4 premiere is like one of the best episodes of television ever.
Oh really?
It's so fucking iconic. Basically,
Is this the one I watched?
yeah,
Christine.
I think you watched 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think too. I should watch it again. That was really good.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. Same creators of Evil, guys. Evil renewed for season 4.
Iconic.
It's a little tangent. Evil renewed for season 4. Guys, if you haven't already started watching, please start watching. It's so good. The new season 3, is the first season where they've known that they're going to be on a streaming service when they've been writing. So there's like the occasional F-bomb for
Yep.
exclamation sake. What do you call it? To like
For fun, just because I can.
that too. And like sexy stuff, but not full. Like it's fine to watch with your parents. Anyway, this episode of The Good Fight is basically at the end of season 3, like the very last moments, cliffhanger, something traumatic happens.
Right.
This episode, no explanation, opens in an alternate universe
Iconic.
where Hillary won the election
Iconic.
and Trump was never president.
That's so funny.
So basically this entire episode it's like a bottle episode where it's a self-contained thing. So Diane, who's played by Christine Baranski, is still aware of this other universe where Trump is president, which she is being told is just a dream. So she's trying to catch up, and like all of these things have changed, or like ripple effect or butterfly effect in really weird ways. And it's just a really fascinating piece of TV and really entertaining. And like for example, with the they have to do a big movie star client, like a big movie firm client, and the client is like Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I can't defend him. And we're like, why? And she's like, Me Too. And they're like, what is Me Too? Me Too never happened because Trump never became president and never said anything about grabbing pussy. and all this stuff.
I can't believe you just went grabbing the pussy.
If Trump can do it, so can I. Oh man, now I have to turn up in a MAGA hat as well. Damn.
Matching next week.
Guess I have to. Yeah, it's just this. It's a really cool bottle episode. Very funny, very
Interesting.
very cool.
Intriguing.
Yeah, and it's like her trying to convince everyone that no, he's like secretly like an open secret that he like abuses people and masturbates into bushes, like
Horrific.
desk plants and stuff.
That's so gross.
And they're all like, well, none of this is out, so we can't actually say anything about that or like decline this client. Anyway, yeah, all that stuff. It's just a very fun watch, in a very dark humor kind of way.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm going to start watching that. Maybe I'll download it all for my holiday and watch it all.
There's also an episode of season 4, I think, called The Gang Discovers Who Killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God. Iconic. How many... Wait, so what season are they on now? If that was season 4 that came out in 2020.
Season 4 and 5 have both been released. Season 6 comes out in a couple months, and it's the final season.
Oh, maybe I should just wait for that then.
And season 4 only has 7 episodes because quarantine happened
Pandemic.
mid-filming.
Right.
And then season 4 or 5 has 10 episodes, so it's not much to catch up on.
Yeah. I don't think I watched season 3 though, so...
Season 3 is also 10.
Whack.
So...
I'm just going to watch them all. From season 1.
Guys, Robert and Michelle King are geniuses.
So true.
The Good Wife, also a phenomenal show. I've been wanting to rewatch that because it's so good. Also, back to Evil for one hot sec.
Okay.
You're going to be very excited to find out that season 3 is like picking up plot points from way back in season 1.
Yes, I am excited
And
about
it's
that.
like connecting the dots. It's fun.
Love that. Oh my God.
Very fun.
Oh,
Very
that's
fun.
so good. I love when a TV show just comes back.
Like, actually, I've only watched like the first 3 episodes of the new season, and like already 2 different clients,
Oh.
2 different investigations they did in season 1 have had a full circle moment.
Love that.
Also, episode 3 of season 3, I think it's called the Demon of Memes.
Oh my God.
That's just scary. That's just scary. It's like a Slenderman-esque type of viral meme.
Ooh,
And
terrifying.
Slenderman has always been one of my biggest irrational fears.
That's so
or
fair.
rational.
Rational, I think.
Literally, the height of Slenderman popularity. How many times can I say it before you piss? The height of Slenderman popularity in, I want to say, like 2012?
Yeah.
2012
Fuck, I have
maybe?
no idea.
2011 or 12. Anyway, at the height of it, I had to, one day after school, I had to go back, get my mom to drive me back to school so I could pick up something in my locker that I left there. And it was like, the sun was just about to completely set. It was just getting dark. It was so spooky. And I was walking through the school, like past the bushes and stuff, fully convinced I was going to be slaughtered by Slenderman. And I like full on running. I was terrified.
I mean,
Anyway,
that's fair.
I
That's
didn't
fair.
see Slenderman, guys. It's okay, but he was there.
I would hope that you didn't.
So yeah, both of those shows.
Whack.
Still 11 out of 10 fun.
Okay. I'm going to give them a go.
What else have we got? Homeo?
Well, I
Let's
think
start
I was going to say, should we move on to our reviews? Because we're already 48 minutes in and we thought we were only doing an hour episode.
Yeah, I think...
What should we start with? Let's start with
Wait.
Love and Gelato because that's only going to take 2 minutes.
I'll save one of them. Can I just quickly talk about one other thing? Is that Drag Race Down Under 2 finally has a release date.
Yeah, and they've released the cast too, haven't they?
Yeah, July 30. I think
Whack.
it's July 30th.
As in this month.
Yeah, it's coming back. So last year it premiered May 1st, so they waited an extra 3 months this year. So like production was done at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So it was technically being
Right.
filmed and just sitting there for a while.
Right.
And I believe it's because they've been actually putting in an effort
Good.
to the marketing and the editing and stuff.
Love that.
So basically they released the Meet the Queens. And it like actually looks like it has effort put into it, which is really, really fun.
Exciting.
And they announced queens and stuff. And I thought quickly we could go through the 10 queens.
Okay. You have to be fast though.
Promo looks.
You have to be really fast.
Not even promo looks. Let's just go through their names
Okay.
and whether let's just go through their names because some of these names are iconic.
Okay.
Okay, we have Aubrey Have,
Iconic. That's a pretty amazing
assuming
name.
play on behave.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Great look.
The one I'm rooting for, Beverly Kills,
An iconic name.
because she's from Brisbane.
Oh, is she? There you go.
So we're spotting her.
Okay.
Hanaconda.
Love that. Anaconda.
We have Faux Fur.
Intriguing.
We have Queen Kong. We have Mini Cooper. You know,
Intriguing.
like the Punch Buggies Mini Coopers.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of iconic. We have Molly Poppins.
Nice. Purple. I vibe with that.
Apparently the promo theme was metallic.
Interesting. Okay.
I would have preferred they didn't done like a colour or a colour scheme, so
Yeah.
they looked a bit more cohesive.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad they got to do a promo.
So
Last season,
fair.
all they had was their entrance looks.
Yeah.
And they had no actual Meet the Queens.
Whack.
They just had Stan put together like a green screened Q&A with the Queens.
Yeah. With all their...
Where it was a 3-minute video for all 10 of them
Oof.
answering stupid questions. This time, they did the Meet the Queens where it was the reveal of all the queens, where they're actually in a promo shoot dancing on the main stage for promos, and then also sitting down and having a one-on-one interview
Whack.
about who they are and their story and stuff.
Nice.
Like, and each one's released as a separate video.
Oh, wow.
So, like, this is why I'm saying effort has been put in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pumara Fifth. I don't know what the play on words is there.
I like her hair, though.
Spanky Jackson.
Iconic.
Jackson. And the final queen is Uruguay.
Interesting.
I have to assume it's meant to be pronounced like Uruguay.
Yeah.
But such an iconic name.
That is an
Also,
iconic name.
very distinctive
look.
makeup.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Trixie Mattel, but evil.
Yeah, it is. That's intense.
Kind of cool. Also, that wig.
Right?
Look at that wig.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, yeah, I'm optimistically... No, what's the word? I'm
Cautiously?
cautiously excited.
Yeah.
I think it's a good sign that they're putting in effort.
Yeah, that is a good sign.
Even if their budget's not bigger, at least they're putting in the time to
So
kind
true.
of tweak it and make it a bit more
It's really true.
smooth. And this is coming from someone who loved season 1.
Yeah.
Truly, if it wasn't for Scarlett Adams' racist blackface stuff, I think it would have been a really, really great season.
Where do they film this one? Here in Australia or New Zealand again?
New Zealand again.
Whack.
I'm hoping a slightly bigger shed.
Hopefully, and a little bit less lighting.
A little bit less lining. Anyway, so yeah, I'm cautiously excited. No racist queens on this cast yet.
That's good.
Touch wood.
Yeah.
One of
fuck.
them put out an apology a couple years ago for being a part of a show where they used, I think, like an Asian hairstyle, like an Asian headdress or something. Basically, she fully admitted she was like, yeah, I unknowingly, ignorantly appropriated Asian culture
Yeah.
for a performance by wearing this wig or whatever, and I deeply apologize for it, and I've educated myself. She literally went to a anti-racism educational course for like 3 weeks.
Whack.
She really put in the effort, and I think that's what more people should do.
It's true.
Scarlett Adams just...
Yeah. Ugh. We don't need
Anyway.
to talk about it.
So yeah, cautiously
Wow.
excited. Let's do mini reviews.
Okay.
Let's start with Thor.
I think we should start with Love and Gelato.
I was going to say we should finish with that.
No, because we only need 2 minutes,
Okay.
which is to be like,
Well,
what
you
the
explain
fuck
it.
was
How did you
that?
find it? The movie, Netflix film, Netflix original, Love and Gelato. How did you find it?
I was, it's really not an interesting story, but I'm going to tell it anyway, we'll see. Okay. I watched it with a work colleague at first while we were packing gift bags.
Iconic.
We put it on because we were like, this looks terrible. Perfect. Anyway, and we didn't finish the movie. And then I was like, you know what? I am going to watch this by myself. And it was a terrible experience watching it by myself as opposed to with somebody, because it's one of those movies where you're like, there is absolutely no redeeming factor here. It's not a good story. It's not good acting. It's not even mildly entertaining. It's just bad.
Yeah, I had to watch it in 2 sittings personally.
Yeah.
And you know
same.
why I think I had to watch it in 2 sittings? Is because it had like probably maybe a quarter of the dialogue is in Italian with subtitles, so I couldn't be on my phone because I would have missed dialogue. And that's what made it so boring.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like if it's a boring movie, but you're on your phone, you can finish it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know.
That's fair.
Anyway.
It was.
Tell us what it's about.
ridiculously
Give
long.
us a brief explanation of the plot.
What was it about? A girl whose mother just died.
Starts off real happy.
Yeah, I know, right? As soon as I was in, I was like, I don't know about this. Yeah. Anyway, and so she's just graduated high school, is about to go to university, and is like, oh, but I was going to go overseas to Italy with my mum. Now she's dead. She still wanted me to go, so I'll go anyway. So she goes over to see, because her mum...
No, her mum forced her to go.
Yeah, that's right.
She was like, well, I can't say no to my dead mum.
So true. But her mum spent a year, I think, in Italy when she was younger, which is where the daughter was conceived.
Yeah.
I'm going to say. I don't know if she was born in Italy. Anyway, she goes back, sees all her mum's old friends. Has like a vague romance with two different guys.
There's a love triangle.
Yeah.
Half the plot is meant to be love triangle. Half the plot is meant to be her finding her dad. Right?
Yeah, I would say that's true.
And then the overall...
You explained it way better than me.
narrative is meant to be she finds herself.
Yes.
While looking for everything else, she finds herself, which is exactly what her mother wanted.
Yes.
So one of them is an Italian rich boy.
Ugh. Who had absolutely no redeeming qualities, by the way, at all at any point. And we got about halfway through the movie and I was like, surely they're not going to try and make us actively want this relationship to happen, because then because they introduced the other dude and he was way nicer, and I was like, I mean, if they're trying to contrast the two relationships, clearly she needs to go with this second one.
That's true. So yeah, the first guy she meets is this rich Italian fuck boy. Cute, fun, except, classic story of his father wants him to go study at Harvard. He doesn't want to do that. It's not his passion, all this stuff. The other guy is a poor... Is that insensitive?
No, it's true.
It's descriptive.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't even necessarily say he was poor. He was poorer than the other dude.
I think they were meaning for him to be completely broke, poor.
That didn't come across.
No, not really. But the other guy, out of the love interest, it was wanting to be a chef. His dream is to make it into cooking school. And he's like the nice boy.
Yeah.
But he's in a relationship with another woman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, it doesn't stop them.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway. And then alternatively, she's staying with her mum's ex-best friend, which is her, quote-unquote aunt, who gives her in the first 20 minutes...
You're so much better at explaining it than me.
Who in the first 20 minutes of the movie gives her a classic 90s teen coming-of-age makeover.
Oh, my God. Horrific.
The take off the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you were beautiful the whole time.
Let's straighten your hair.
Yeah, shake it out, put on a dress, and suddenly you're the hottest bitch around. So that's in the first 20 minutes. We were also introduced to another one of your mother's friends.
Daddy Howard.
Was his name Howard?
It was, yeah.
Oh. Anyway, he's like this Irish guy, I guess, who is best friends with the mom.
Yeah.
Heavily implied, literally from the first moment he is in a shot, that he's her father.
Yep.
He's one of my like.
It was actually really funny because we were only half watching it. Me and my work friend, we were only half watching the movie, and so when she's introduced to Howard, she's also being introduced to the younger dude at the same time. And she and I, because we're only half watching, are both like, wait a second, which of these two is the love interest?
Iconic.
We were half convinced it was supposed to be Howard, which is why we started calling him Daddy Howard, because we were like, Dilf,
Yeah. Well, my first note is I'm 15 minutes in, and so far, I guess it's fine. The acting's pretty bad. The second note says, also, fuck whatever love triangle is going to happen. I want the Irish daddy.
Yeah, right?
Who I then realized was Nico from Killing Eve. For people who watch Killing Eve, he's Sandra Oh's husband in that. But in this, for some reason, he's extremely hot.
He's extremely hot.
Anyway, so I have another fun quote from the movie here. That was about halfway. When she first meets Rich Boy,
yeah,
he goes, I think it's him. He goes, They've never met before, have no connections in friends and family or anything. They've never met, all this stuff. And they are parting ways. And he goes, I'll text you my number. And I said, homie, she didn't give you her number. You don't know anyone to get it from. How are you going to text her your number? So from the get-go, I knew this was going to be a piece of
Trash.
absolute art. The script should go in the Louvre.
Oh my God. Honestly, there was this one point, and it's etched into my brain, of when she's trying to convince the other poor love interest to, I don't know, follow his dreams or do something risky at the chef school. I can't even fucking remember. And she was talking about how good his ice cream was. And she was like, I basically just had an orgasm from eating your ice cream. I was like,
You need to eat more ice cream.
yeah, that's not like something you should be shouting in the streets of Rome. But
Wait,
whatever.
we didn't even talk about the cliche black best friend, sassy black
Oh
best
my
friend.
God. Also horrific.
Truly one of the wildest characters I've ever seen on film.
Oh God.
One, she's written as a complete stereotype.
Oh God. I mean,
Two,
they all are.
she's
But
like this scammer influencer baddie who's an icon.
so true.
So basically she
I don't
the best
even
friend
know.
like photoshops photos of Lena to look like she's this globe-trotting adventurous girl. And I'm like, how did she get a photo of Lena in a surfing position
Yeah.
to Photoshop on a surf? Anyway, so that was a mess.
There is so many plot holes. The whole movie is just one big hole.
Just that's what I call you.
So true. Sexy.
So true, bestie.
Um,
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh
And
my god!
at
Oh my
the
god! Oh my
end-
god! Now we need to talk about the fact that she meets rich boy, she meets poor boy. Rich boy invites her to a charity gala, despite the fact that they're strangers. I don't know that I'd invite a stranger to like
I know.
a high class event. Anyway,
right?
she ends up leaving quickly for some reason. Can't remember why. Don't really care. But she hops on the car. Oh no! This is where she meets the poor boy.
Yeah, but she ran into him in the kitchen. And
In the
he
kitchen.
dumped food all over.
Yeah,
her.
and he goes, "I can drive you home if you want."
Yeah.
And she says,
Yes. I think they
"Has she not seen
They had-
Taken by Liam Neeson?"
I think they actually had already met at that point, though.
No.
Briefly, yeah. Because,
No.
yeah, no, I remember because he was in the same scene as Daddy Howard when she was introduced to Daddy Howard and Lorenzo at the same time. And I was like, which of these two is the love interest? One of them's ugly,
I don't remember
but
that.
one of them is too old. So what is going on here?
Well, I don't remember that, but either way, she got in this car with a stranger in a strange country.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bad choice.
Bad choice. Bad
Anyway.
choice.
Um,
So bad. Anyway, at the end, it's revealed that Daddy Howard is not actually her dad.
no.
It's just some random dude.
Who was her mum's professor?
Yeah, which also,
This is actually the one thing I loved about the movie,
yeah.
is that she finds out her actual father, her biological dad, is was the professor of her mum at some university. And she's like, fuck it, I'm going to take the chance and I'm going to go and meet him. So she does. Everyone tells her he's an asshole, don't do it. And she does it anyway. She shows up at his office and the receptionist is like, he's actually not here, unfortunately. And she's like, I know he's here. So she storms in. He is there. He told the receptionist to lie. Turns out he is an asshole. They don't even talk.
No,
She storms out and we never see the dad again.
no,
I really liked that
that's fair.
because it's like, why try and have him be redeemable?
That's really fair. They like, he didn't go to any, I was just too busy.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like, he had like one line, which was, can you make her leave?
Yeah.
It was like, ooh, not good. Yeah. Anyway, it's really fair. Yes. And so then, but my favorite line of the whole movie happens right at the end when Howard sits down with Lena or whatever her name is. And he's like, it would make me so happy if you would see me as your adopted dad.
Yeah.
I was like,
This is
did they
mentally
really
touching.
just write that?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was not good.
Not good.
It was really not good. And then she said, okay, Dad. And I was like, ooh. No.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Anyway, to skip to the end of the movie,
Oh, yeah.
there's not that many more important points to sort of touch on, but to skip to the end of the movie, essentially, she chooses no one.
Yeah. Which I actually also kind of liked. It's not very often that you see a romance movie where she actually at the end is like, oh, I'm actually going to be by myself for a little while.
Interesting.
But the movie was still bad.
Well, no, then it skips to a year later,
Yeah.
and it turns out that for some reason,
She's still in Italy.
poor boy is now not poor. and is now a qualified chef.
And owns a restaurant.
So now it's implied that they get together a year later. So that's all fine and good and whatever.
And she's become a photographer, which also doesn't make any sense.
She's just randomly talented at anyway.
Well, it's kind of weird because wasn't her dad the photographer? Her biological dad?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. The other point I had was this film is called Love and Gelato. There
wasn't much love and there also wasn't much gelato.
Well, even the description of the film says like Lena spends her time before college in Italy to discover cute boys and a love of gelato or something.
Yeah.
I took this as it's gonna be a plot point. She's gonna be like, whatever.
Open a gelato shop.
Gelato doesn't make an appearance until
like honestly, an hour into the film.
I have it written somewhere. Yeah, it was exactly 60 minutes, which is more than halfway through the film, is when gelato happens for the first time.
Yeah, and then it makes a second and final appearance on the train when he lets her eat the gelato, and that's it.
Yeah. And also, I'm obsessed with the fact that she has truffle pasta or something, and Mr. Poor Boy, who has no personality, is like, have you never eaten truffle before? And she's like, I've never even heard of it. I was like... Henny.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, anyway, bad. 0 out of 5 stars. No, that's a lie. 1.5 out of 5 stars, but only if you can watch it with a friend over a bottle of wine, and then it actually will probably be the best movie you've ever seen. And Daddy Howard is a highlight, so.
What? Why did the two boys hate each other?
Oh, they went to school together. Oh my God, I can't believe I
took
remember
note, but
this.
I can't even understand my own writing.
I can't remember. I can't believe I remember this. They went to school together, and Poor Boy's mum worked in the canteen.
That's
and
right.
A friend of the rich boy called her a name. Fuck.
A homophobic slur.
I think it was yeah.
It was a homophobic slur.
Yeah.
Probably the D one.
That's right. Yes.
Just unprompted. We don't know if she actually was a lesbian.
Yeah.
And Poor Boy holds a lifelong grudge because Rich Boy didn't say anything. I was like, I don't know if that's enough to.
Well, and not only that, but like when they see each other, it's like implied that they've both
had this grudge.
Yeah, against each other, and it's this like lifelong feud that they really hate each other. It's like, oh, there was one incident in which one person did something bad against the other person.
We never see.
And that's it.
Yeah. I was like, maybe when it started, I was like, maybe they were like childhood friends that grew apart because of class, inequality, nothing of that. No. Nothing of the sort. No. Somebody lied to her several times.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, the movie was wild. Also, oh my God, her haircut in the 1 year later scene had me actually proper laughing out loud. That shit was funny. Yum, yum. Would absolutely watch again. Horrific.
I mean, honestly, when you said before that we should do a movie night with you, me, and Chelsea, I was like, Love and Gelato.
Stop it. Okay. I feel like I had more to say on Love and Gelato than I have to say on any of the other stuff we watched.
Really? Whack. I have so much to say.
I like generally enjoyed.
Fine. That's fair. What was
that's not true. Let's review Stranger Things.
Right, yeah.
We both caught up on Stranger Things. I fucking loved season 4.
Yeah. Can I just say episode's way too long? Too long.
The only episode...
Particularly the finale.
See, I didn't feel it in the finale.
Oof.
I actually thought the finale was an okay length. 2.5 hours, but it didn't feel long to me. The episode before...
when a movie is 2.5 hours.
No, me too. But the penultimate episode felt long to me.
We watched them back to back, so I can.
So did I.
I can't really differentiate which.
The day they came out,
yeah,
we were up till 1 a.m. watching them.
Oh my God, ew.
So I wouldn't get spoiled. But I didn't feel the length in the finale. I think because it was so non-stop.
Was it though? I felt like it was poorly paced.
Interesting.
The finale.
The only poor pacing I felt was in the last half hour where it was wrapping up the.
Yeah, that's fair.
Story. It kind of kept. There was like 10 moments throughout that they could have stopped the season, but they kept
going.
The
fact that they did a 2 days later.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, spoilers.
Just skip to the last 10 minutes. 5 minutes.
That's true, because we are also going to talk about Thor. Yeah, the fact that they did that 2 days later thing, it was like we saw all of what we felt like at the time was we did all of this build up to something really, really bad happening. And then like right before the really bad, we were going to see like the resolution to the violence and the conflict and stuff. They were like 2 days later. I was like, that's actually the only part I wanted to see was, what was it that happened? I think it was to do with Max. When 11 was trying to bring her back to life.
Vecna successfully
Yeah.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
And then Max is in a coma.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go 2 days later and it's like, well,
I didn't
wait a
mind
second.
that.
Oh my God, it fucking pissed me off because I was
I
like,
was
did
like-
11 bring Max back to life?
See, but if they didn't do that, then it would have been another half hour longer because they would have had to navigate the whole immediate aftermath of Hawkins literally being split into 4.
See, I would have preferred to have seen that
Oh,
personally.
no, I wouldn't. I liked what they did.
I also, can we just say, touch on the fact that they did bring Max back to life, which fucking, I don't vibe with that.
Is she going to be blind?
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm assuming that they're going
Well,
to bring
to
her back
be
to life,
honest,
but-
I was like completely 100% gagged when her legs started to.
I know.
Every time a limb would snap, I was like, okay, that's it. Let her out now. That's it. She's fine, guys. Drop her.
Yeah.
And then they just kept all 4 legs and arms snapped,
Yeah.
eyes bleeding,
Yeah.
like full on. They killed Max.
Yeah, they
For like
did.
a brief
she
moment, they killed
died.
Max. I was like, I can't believe they did that.
I was so impressed.
Fuck. Can't believe you've done this.
I was so impressed. I was like, wow,
Look at
I'm
them committing.
They committed.
But I was
and then they uncommitted.
well, but I was kind of okay with that.
I
It's
wasn't.
Max.
I mean, that's really fair. That's fair.
I really like Max.
And I think if they hadn't killed Hopper at the end of season 3 and then brought him back in season 4,
Yeah.
I would have been more okay with it. But because they'd done that, I was like, well, great. Now they just never kill any characters ever. We always know that they're going to come back to life, even if they do die. Like,
Who would you have killed out of main cast for this season? For proper dead.
proper dead.
I feel like emotional effect to be minimal, it would have to be like Murray.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking people introduced this season.
No, that's fair.
Because
Who's
the
the other
whole
one in
shtick
it?
of Stranger Things is that they introduce new characters every season, and then by the end of the season, they're
They
dead.
died. The
only ones who made it through a season to continue on were Murray and Robin.
Yes. Yeah.
And technically Erica, but Erica was their family, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Look, I think I would never be able to watch the show again if it was Steve, so I'm really biased in that, and I don't think it should have been Steve.
I think it was more of a plot twist that they didn't kill Steve
Yeah.
than if they had have.
It's kind of true. I think everyone was really scared that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Look, I would say my 2 least favorite characters to watch, and this is real. Very different opinion to most people, but are Nancy and Jonathan, particularly Jonathan. So I
not unpopular.
would be totally fine with them have killed off Jonathan in particular. That's who I would choose, just because I don't like him.
I agree. I don't particularly like Jonathan. I will say I got choked up in the finale when him and Will are having that heart to heart.
Yeah, that's fair. Me
I
too.
thought that was actually a very fucking good scene,
It
and I
was.
thought it was very reminiscent of a lot of people's coming out journeys.
Yeah.
In that they can have an entire conversation about
Yeah.
their sexuality with a loved one and have it be so emotional and so intense, despite the fact that the
You don't
words
have to
"I'm
say
gay"
it
are
out
never
loud.
said.
Yeah.
It's just this mutual
Yep.
respect and love that comes
Yeah.
from being family. And I thought that was really beautiful, and
Yeah.
even today is still reminiscent of a lot of people
Yeah.
coming out. So I thought that was phenomenal. But apart from that, Jonathan, he could die. I could care less.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Of
the
they killed
kids?
Papa. They killed Dr. Brenner.
Thank God, finally.
They killed Dr. Brenner, and they killed
I also
Eddie.
thought he was already dead.
I didn't want Eddie to die purely because he was kind of fine.
See, I think it's so funny. So many people are so emotional about Eddie dying, and I'm like, I really did not connect
Expect
with
him-
him
Oh,
that much this season.
interesting. I did. I think they went a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
In the final episode with him being like, "This is the year I graduate.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best year of my life."
Yeah.
And the whole Dustin, I didn't run away this
I
time.
know that was a bit. I know
That's a little
It's
heavy.
true.
Heavy-handed.
I would totally agree. And also the fact that he didn't run away was actually really fucking stupid. It was like, this was clearly a situation in which he should have run away. So
Yeah, kind of like he sacrificed himself for nothing.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think anything would have happened if those bats went back to the house.
Literally.
So yeah, just the fucking, you know, when they're running up that hill, Stranger Things theme song
That was
remix
really
came
good.
on when they were fighting Vecna and
Yeah.
shit. Iconic.
Very
lit.
iconic. I reckon, honestly, probably my favorite acting / scene in the whole entire series was when Max died and Lucas was crying.
That was intense.
It was intense.
And 11. Actually, that was very well executed.
It was.
When it was cutting between him being there, holding her in real life, to Elle
Seeing
being
it.
in the in the
Upside down.
deprivation tank thing,
Yeah, whatever it is.
crying with them.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That
It
was really
was.
good.
It was. And honestly, I think that's some of the best acting. And they're all very, very good actors. Like,
Yeah.
this is a very phenomenal job that they all do consistently. But I think that was the best acting I've seen in the whole show.
I agree.
Was from Caleb McLaughlin
Yeah,
in that scene. It was fucking, oh my God.
it was intense.
It was intense. It was amazing.
my
He should win an Emmy for that.
My absolute favorite. I think Sadie Sink should as well.
Yeah,
think
she
about
should.
episode 3 or 4, the Dear Billy one, where she first
Yeah.
goes into
Yeah.
gets hypnotized by Vecna.
So true.
Phenomenal. My favorite part about that scene was that the bully kid who was going after Eddie full on just got ripped in half by
And
Vecna.
It was like a two.
by Vecna's chasm.
Yeah, it was like a 2 second.
no one cares.
Yeah. I also will say, I really, for some reason, I never have thought about it, but I really vibe with the idea of like this huge chasm opening and all of Hawkins now could know potentially in the future about the Upside Down.
Well, yeah, that's the hint
Yeah.
because of the lightning. I will also say I really liked the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I agree.
They could have, any moment in the last 45 minutes, cut it off and called it a cliffhanger,
yeah.
when in reality it would have just been cutting a scene off halfway through.
Yeah.
This was a true, proper cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And that they revealed a bit of information,
Yes.
but it also concluded, the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So for context, that's the final moments where everyone's reunited, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's taken 2 days, but 2 days later, they realize that the plants around Hawkins are all dead.
Yeah.
And they look out, and just as they look out, red lightning from the Upside Down starts to spark through the skies of the Hawkins
And
disaster
the ash
zone.
starts to fall too.
Yeah. Which I think is an iconic cliffhanger.
I agree.
It doesn't rely on something that's happened, it relies on something they've introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I think season 5 potentially has the potential to be the best season. I feel like, because I personally am into this idea.
Yeah, personally, I don't.
Kind of everyone.
I think it's going to be
knowing.
hard to top season 3 or 4.
What happened in season 3?
Season 3 was like the
Oh,
carnival
the Russian
and
one.
the Russians.
Yeah,
Because the pairings were.
that's fair. There's one thing I didn't vibe with this season 4, is that they didn't bring everyone together this season. Everyone had their own separate things until literally the last
moments, yes.
Yeah, after all of the action was done.
Yeah.
And I've just always really appreciated in Stranger Things how in previous seasons everyone always comes together. So I can understand why they
in
were
the
like,
penultimate episode to fight in the final episode.
exactly.
Yes.
So I can understand why they were like, let's
But
do
they
something
did
different this
kind
season.
of do that this year
Do you reckon?
because they all helped each other remotely.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So Will and gang helped by building their deprivation tank and sending Elle to help.
I mean, yes.
And Hopper and stuff called in the government and did
People.
all that stuff from there,
Yeah.
from Russia.
And they fought the Demogorgons so they could hurt the hive mind.
Yeah, and
So,
distract the hive mind.
Which is
So it's
why
like a
I
take
think,
on it.
Yeah, which is why I can see why they did it, because they were like, we can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. Let's
Yeah.
subvert
But
that trope.
I am with you where it's more effective to just be.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite
Traditional.
part. Was one of my
Yeah.
favorite things about this show is when every single character actually is all in the same room, sharing everything they know, and you get to see everybody interact in their different ways. It's always intriguing to me.
I
But
agree.
yeah,
Anyway, so loved this season
yeah, it was
a
good.
lot. I really loved the finale. I guess I did think the pacing was a bit off in the last half hour, but
Yeah,
overall, I liked what it did with pretty much every character.
yeah, fair.
Well produced, all this stuff.
Agree. Okay, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay, well, let's preface Thor: Love and Thunder's review by saying I enjoyed the movie,
Yes,
but I don't think it's a good movie.
I would agree. Yes, I would agree with, yeah. It was fine. I'd watch it again. I'd be happy to watch it again. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of individual problems. It was not a cohesive film, and it was absolutely not anywhere near as good as Ragnarok or as good as what people are saying, to be honest.
Well, I was genuinely shocked when the movie finished because my first thought was, this is the first time that Taika Waititi as a director hasn't perfectly balanced the humor and drama.
Yeah.
And I was genuinely shocked. I thought he was a master of it by this point.
Yeah.
But this time, it truly felt like an episode of, like, Paw Patrol, like, collided into an episode of Game of Thrones. Like,
it was weird. It was really, really, really weird. And I don't... I see. And I think it was less, personally, that he didn't balance the humor and drama. It was more that the drama was really poorly done.
it could be that.
Think that's what, at least what it felt like to me.
Yeah, that it wasn't effective enough to be balanced out.
Yeah, because the whole, I mean, so spoiler again, in case you've gotten through all of the Stranger Things, because you've seen that, but you haven't seen this. But so Jane's kind of like storyline is that she has cancer. She picks up, takes Mjolnir and becomes Mighty Thor because she thinks it's going to kind of like.
Actually, sorry, interrupt.
Yeah.
I liked the explanation of why that happened.
I would agree too.
Where it was like the rom-com flashbacks to him being like drunkenly, protect Jane.
Yeah.
So Mjolnir does.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cute.
I would agree with that.
Anyway, continue. Sorry. She picks up Mjolnir, becomes Thor.
Yeah.
Mighty Thor.
And it kind of like, it doesn't fix her cancer, but it gives her this like alternate kind of body in which when she's Mighty Thor, she's healthy and really strong, but her human body is like now no longer able to fight the cancer, and so she's actually getting sicker.
Yeah. Essentially, every time she becomes the Mighty Thor, her human form deteriorates.
Yeah. And so again, major spoiler, she dies at the end.
Yes.
Horrifically bad death scene. I cannot even...
One of the worst.
One of the worst I have seen in the MCU / ever, I would say. It was so unemotional.
Yeah.
It was so poorly done. Mm-hmm. The fact that she was still like full face of makeup, absolutely looked so healthy as she was supposedly dying of cancer. It's like, what am I looking at right now? There was no chemistry between Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth as... Well, I mean, I would say throughout the whole movie, but particularly in that scene. I would say throughout
the whole 3 movies.
That's fair.
But also the fact that it's a character we've been with for 3 films.
Yeah.
6+ hours of content, who we've known, and also one of the world's best actresses.
Literally.
It was a very underwhelming death scene.
Yeah.
If not a little insulting.
Yeah. It was, I think just because it felt so... disconnected from the whole. It was one of those things where we are being told that she is getting sicker. We are being told that
on the beat
her
and the
body
beat got sicker.
Exactly, that her body is deteriorating, that she's going to die if she picks up Mjolnir one more time. She does. Then we see her and she looks perfectly fine, and you're like, well,
yeah.
Sorry, so you're telling me that she's really sick and she's
hospital.
dying, but she does not look like. She doesn't look it. So what do we do? What's going on here?
And it has nothing to do with, before people say it's got something to do with the fact that they were in the eternity place.
Oh, yeah.
Got nothing to do with that. Everyone else was still all beat up from the fight. Yeah. So it's not that.
So she was in the eternity place and has something to do with that. Why'd she die there?
I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that we only learned that it's harming her human form half an hour before the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think had that been, the scene at the beginning, not really.
Kind of when
30,
she drops
45
the
minutes
hammer.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And Valkyrie comes and he's like, she comes in and she's like, are you going to tell Thor that you've got cancer? And she's like, no, please don't. All that. If we had learned then that it was deteriorating her.
It's true.
That seems offensive to be said deteriorating.
No, but yeah.
You know what I mean? Draining her life form.
Making her sicker. It would have added more stakes.
Well, that's the whole thing. The it's a film technique that I learned about in school, ironically, in uni. Dropped out, though. But it's essentially the ticking time bomb scenario where to create tension, the director has to give the audience information that the characters don't have. Yeah. So in the example that they use, it's two men are playing cards at a table. Mm-hmm. The camera backs out, and you can see there's a ticking time bomb under the table that neither men are aware of. Yeah. The audience feels the tension, therefore elevating the
scene,
the stakes, and all this stuff, but the characters are not. And anyway, this would have been more effective had they utilized that method to make us, every time she turned into Thor, be like, oh, oof, tension.
Yeah.
And then the revelation to Thor, I think, also probably would have been more effective.
It's really true. Well, I think the interesting thing about this is that we saw. I think my main problem with this film was really the amount of exposition, because we keep getting told that characters feel certain ways or that certain things are happening to them, but we never actually see it. So Thor, for example, goes, I love you, I've always loved you. They kiss, and it's like, okay, but I wasn't actually feeling any of this in the first.
I just don't think that they were cast together well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 12 years ago, really.
Yeah. Fuck.
I just don't. Yeah, they have good bro chemistry.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think the romantic chemistry is necessarily there.
That's really fair.
Because individually, they're both great actors. You know what
I
mean.
Yeah, for sure.
And then independent. It's hard to say the other plotline. There's two plotlines in the movie, essentially. One is Jane's cancer storyline, which feels undercooked, to say the least.
Yes.
Borderline undercooked. No, wait, what is it?
Undercooked.
Best case undercooked, worst case offensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think if you're going to... I get that it's a superhero movie, so they're like, oh, we don't want to make things too deep. We don't want to make things too sad, because that's not what these movies are ultimately about.
If you're going to commit to that, commit to it.
But if you're going to have it, then just fucking commit to it.
Or don't do it.
Just don't do it.
If you can't do it, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly, again, if you're going to have a fucking death scene of her dying, it's like, if you're going to have a death scene of her dying from cancer, commit to her being sick from cancer, you know? Yeah. It's like, ugh. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, the other storyline, essentially the main villain storyline, is that there is a being called Gore the God Butcher, who his planet the resources have dried up. There's no resources left. There's no water, no plants, no food. Him and his daughter are wandering through the desert. The daughter dies in the desert of starvation. You know that's Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter.
I didn't know that's who that. I knew that all of their kids were in the film, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I guess now she's just like part of the MCU.
Yeah, whack.
Spoiler alert for the end of the movie. Essentially, she gets renamed Love.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, is that he's Thunder, she's Love and Thunder. And they're now like a crime-fighting duo.
Yeah.
Which feels weird for them to cast his daughter.
It does.
To be in
It does feel weird.
$200 million movies for the next how many years? Anyway, so the daughter dies. The Gore completely like breaks apart and gets introduced to the god.
A god. He's the god that he worships.
Yeah, the god of his planet. The god that was meant to be. Yeah, that's right.
The god that he worships. Yeah,
yes, the god that he worships.
That's part of the religion that he's.
And the god is like, why do I give a fuck that the people who worship me are dying? There's always going to be more.
Yeah, basically.
You had a really good take on that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We can. I can tell you. Or we can finish what you were going to say.
Okay. Well, I was just going to. Yeah. So basically, I guess the only reason he was able to enter this godly realm was because the god himself let his guard down, because they had just killed a ancient evil warrior
from
the negative. What was it called? The
Oh God, I don't remember.
I think it was called like the negative dimension, where it was all black and white. There was no
Right.
color. I can't remember what it's called.
There was was it the shadow?
Shadow dimension, the shadow realm. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, he's from there, and he has a sword that is capable of killing gods.
Yes. The god killer, if you will.
Perhaps. And essentially Gore is so disgusted by this god that he worshipped for doing nothing to help his dying daughter and his civilization.
Yeah, and basically like laughing about the whole thing.
Laughing about it, that the sword senses that and attaches itself to him.
Yeah.
And he gets transformed into Gore the God Butcher,
Yeah.
whose mission it is to destroy all gods,
Yes.
basically. Mm-hmm. From there, we don't see him again for half an hour.
No, we don't. He just fucking disappears.
And then he turns up in New Asgard with shadow monsters and kidnaps a bunch of children to lure Thor to a place where Thor would be weaker and he would be stronger.
Yeah, so we can kill Thor.
That's a fine plot, but that's a plot for later in the movie, I feel. So had that not been the entire plot of the movie,
Yeah.
perhaps it would have been better.
Well, because there's kind of a bit of it's like, how is Gore picking the gods that he's killing? Is it just like opportunity, or is it he's
just,
picking people based on, I'm going for these people next?
It's just
in
willy-nilly.
which case, which is kind of boring.
For context, I've read the comic books that this storyline is based on. It butchered them, ironically. The comic book is fucking phenomenal, and it's like really dark and intense and a lot more of what you were expecting.
Yeah.
Where it's the gods have...
Well, yeah. So I said to Nick that, I got really excited in the first 5 minutes because they had Gore meet this god, and then the god turned out to be a fucking awful, as interesting.
Yeah.
That's just an intriguing take. And Gore kills the god. And so I thought they were going to introduce this whole moral dilemma of being like, well, is Gore actually doing the wrong thing because these gods don't care about people? If he kills them, does that then introduce, does it ruin the natural order? Are these gods actually, are they...
It's making it worse for the people.
Yeah.
Well, and the comic storyline, essentially, its answer to that kind of moral conundrum is that Thor himself was one of them. So it basically throws us back to... way back in the Norse times.
Right.
Norse times. Oh, there's still Norse times?
I don't think...
Back in the Viking Age.
Yeah.
When the Norse gods were worshipped, Thor is on Earth, fucking bitches.
Yeah.
Getting drunk.
Yeah.
Slaying people, starting wars just so he can kill people.
Which is basically what he was at the beginning of the first Thor film.
Well, essentially, yeah. And the plot of the storyline is... he himself was one of those gods who's careless and ignorant. And the whole point is he has to learn to become someone better. And by the end of it, he agrees to be the god for the planets whose gods were murdered.
Interesting.
And that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Well, see, I think that the problem with... Because, okay, so then again, halfway through, we get introduced to more gods, and they're also shitty. And so at that point, you're like, well, Gore is fucking doing the right thing. Yeah. It seems like the only real reason why they want to take down Gore is because he wants to kill Thor, and we don't want him to kill Thor because Thor is the only one we like. We like Thor.
Yeah.
Which is actually really independent of Gore's mission to kill all the gods. But I think the issue in the MCU is that they've, for 10 fucking years, been really separating Thor from this god.
Yeah.
Not persona, but him being a god, basically. And so they almost can't circle back around at the end to him actually being a god and taking on godly responsibilities for other planets and stuff, which really puts them in a fucking bind for this story because that's what it should have been.
Yeah, I need to agree with that. I just think that was... What was the last movie? Similar to Multiverse of Madness. It had no depth.
Yeah.
It had no nuance.
No.
It didn't need anything particular deep, but it could have gone to places it didn't go. It could have had a moral conundrum. It could have had Thor grappling with the fact that he is one of these gods. Like, he's suddenly having to look in a mirror and realize, perhaps I have been an arrogant fool.
Well, because...
But it has none of that.
The alternate thing they could have done is he has separated himself from being a god for so long, so he could have been like, well,
Now
I
see
haven't
it.
actually been, you know, even though I'm nice to the people that I know, I haven't been taking on any godly responsibilities,
That's
which
true.
means
There were so many options.
there's so many options.
Instead, the option they went with is for Thor's character to have any arc or any development, they had to kill off a lead female.
Yes.
So the only reason Jane died was so that Thor could develop and become someone who can let go of the past and open himself up to new connections. And she had to
Yeah.
die for that.
Apparently. She didn't, but they thought she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And my other thing with this movie is that I think it did the same thing as some of the other MCU movies, specifically Multiverse of Madness, where it kind of felt like there was no middle.
Yeah,
It kind of just felt like it started and ended.
that's really fair.
So by the time we get to all the characters being together, it's like 45 minutes in is the new Asgard scenes. And then we go to Omnipotent City, where we
Yeah.
meet all the other gods and we
Hate them.
see Zeus and they have the fight with Zeus and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go to Gore's homeworld, Gore's shadow dimension, shadow realm,
Yeah.
fight him, lose. And then it's essentially the finale.
Yeah, basically.
Like there's no middle.
yeah.
And I felt the same with Multiverse of Madness. It was just so they go to that dimension with the Illuminati. The end.
Yeah.
It feels like they split the narratives weirdly. It's like first act is 40%, third act is 40%, middle act, second act is 20.
Yeah, so true.
You know?
I will say the one thing that I liked about this film, which wasn't particularly overt but was still kind of there, is that Thor, which we've been seeing for many movies, is really used to fighting in a team. And he even says it so many times in this movie. He's like, we're making a team, we're going to fight, blah, blah. And then at the end of this film, he actually by himself is the one who has to kind of go against Gore, which I thought was interesting because it's almost like, you know, usually what they do in superhero movies, you get established, you have one or two movies where they're established as like they crime fighting, they have all these powers, and then eventually you have to get to the point where you have to take away all of the special things from them so they can just do it on their own and prove that they don't need all of, It kind of felt like it was supposed to be that for Thor, except it was with no one around him.
Yeah. No, I
But
know
then
what
they
you mean.
didn't really do it.
The
also.
character needs to hit rock bottom
Yeah.
to then have the moment where they rise up above.
Yeah, exactly. But that didn't really, like they tried, but it didn't really.
You know what scene I love though? I did love the scene when they first go to the Shadow Realm and Gore like captures them and taunts them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one of his like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a very good villain, but that's entirely due to the fact that Christian Bale slayed it.
That's true.
In the comics, the character was very fleshed out. It was like half about him. In a similar way that
Yeah.
Infinity War was about Thanos.
Yeah. Marvel has always had a problem with their villains, in my opinion. They've never, ever really fleshed them out. And I 100% think that that's because their superheroes also are quite, in terms of why they fight against the villains, it's always one-dimensional, like Infinity War with Thanos. They're always like, oh, he just can't kill half the planet, when it's like, okay, there could have been something really a lot deeper here in terms of moral dilemmas and superheroes. Anyway, so it's like this relationship between their superheroes and their villains that they've never really properly got a handle on,
Yeah.
which means their villains are always quite lackluster.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I honestly think Phase 4 Marvel movies, in general, not that good.
Yeah, personally, I only have enjoyed No Way Home and Shang-Chi.
I would agree with
A
Shang-Chi is definitely the most polished one of all of them.
100%.
No Way Home was only so good because of the other Spider-Man.
Also, side note, a lot of people are complaining about the visual effects in this phase.
Interesting.
And that's purely because the visual effects artists, the CGI peoples, are on crunch time. They're being underpaid, overworked, because essentially the pandemic created a bottleneck where there was no movies coming out, and then suddenly they're all coming out.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're doing double time trying to catch up to this stuff, and these poor people who are not unionized are being forced to work overtime to make these special effects, and in the end the whole thing looks cartoony at times.
I actually didn't think it was that bad in this movie.
I didn't either, but there were moments where I was like, that looked shit. Same with Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Having said that, they do continue to polish it until the Disney Plus release.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So they have another 6 weeks to work on it before
Whack.
it's final, technically. So the
insane.
one you're seeing in theaters is not the final version of the film, by the way.
That's
For
wild.
blockbusters.
That's wild.
So yeah, that's it. Is, I guess, go easy on VFX artists at the
Oh
moment.
yeah.
It was a movie.
It was
Most
a
of-
movie, and it was a disappointing movie.
And 2/3 of the jokes landed.
Yeah. I mean, I personally didn't mind the humor. My biggest issue, and I actually had the same issue with Ragnarok, I think I was the only person on the planet, which was the humor, genuinely funny. It is genuinely funny, but it is really disconnected from the Thor
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
characterizations that we saw in every other movie.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
what.
you go into it and it's like, what?
Who is this?
What character am I watching right now?
It's just Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
Australian
basically.
accent and all. This Thor, by the way, Thor and Thor Love and Thunder has an Australian accent. I've actually been seeing a lot online about people saying that the perfect Thor was Infinity War Thor,
Yeah.
where he was both a serious character but still had comedic moments.
I would agree with that.
And
And
then in Endgame was just turned into a joke.
that's really true.
But Infinity War Thor, mwah.
No, he was. Is Infinity War the one where he, like,
Loki dies at the beginning and then he's off with
yeah,
Rocket Raccoon.
yeah,
making-
and
making
he's, like,
Stormbreaker.
genuinely talking about, like, you can see that
He's
he's
depressed.
like, yeah,
My
got
entire
real
civilization's
trauma.
just been
And,
murdered.
yeah, that was good. That was really good.
But he was hiding his pain with jokes. That's what we want.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want an ongoing gag throughout the movie about his new weapon being jealous of his old weapon.
Really true.
I hated that joke.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was not a strong one. The other one that I wished worked that didn't work was Jane's new catchphrase.
Yeah.
That didn't come off
No,
well, I
it
don't
didn't.
think.
It didn't.
The screaming goats were funny for 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and then they kept going with it.
yeah. The play I vibed with. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
like, it was really funny in the first one, and so I thought it was kind of funny that they brought it back, but probably went for too long.
What else? I really liked Russell Crowe's Zeus.
I would agree with that.
I thought he was really good. The accent was good and bad, but in a good way.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was
It
purposefully
was
bad.
quirky, yeah.
Post-credit scenes, Jane in Valhalla, I like that. I think it also has potential to bring her back, which is fun.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but I honestly thought that we were going to see more of the dead characters, so I was shocked when it ended where it did. I don't know why. I also, for some reason, and this I didn't make me disappointed, but kind of surprised. For some reason, I was genuinely convinced that Tom Hiddleston was going to be in this film.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I thought they were going to do an Andrew Garfield and that he was going to be in it. It was kind of like an open secret, but then he wasn't. I thought everyone just knew that he was going to be in it, and then he wasn't.
See, I think they accidentally, the Russo brothers wrote them into a corner
Right.
where, is Loki technically dead? Would he be in Valhalla
Yeah.
if this other version of him still exists in their universe?
Yeah.
So I don't think they could introduce more characters without raising some questions.
That's really fair.
And the first post-credit scene was Zeus still being alive after being not killed by Thor,
Yeah.
and sending Hercules to kill Thor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
It was fun.
Introduces a new aspect of
Yeah.
demigod hunting god, I guess. And Hercules is being played by one of the stars of Ted Lasso,
Oh.
which is he's one of the biggest stars in the world apparently at the moment because Ted Lasso is such a big show. Anyway, I would
Can't
give it
relate.
probably a 6.57 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd stick with 6.5.
Yeah,
6. Yeah, I don't know.
it was enjoyable,
These
but it had
movies-
some lows.
It did. These movies are always, it's always so difficult to follow up a movie that everybody likes. I will say, because it's like almost inevitable that there's going to be disappointment. But like, this movie was not cohesive.
No,
It was not.
It was messy.
It was so messy.
And it felt like it was missing things.
It did feel like it was. It also felt like it was It's actually really similar to whatever that other movie was that we watched recently, where I was like, it felt like, actually I think it was this film where it felt like they'd just done like a bunch of reshoots, and it was like 2 years later that they'd reshot
You were saying
all
that
of the
about
extras.
this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, actually, they didn't do many reshoots for this Thor movie, but they did do a lot of reshoots for Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness originally had a completely different plot that they filmed. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's how not cohesive it felt, is it felt like it had been shot 2 years apart.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of want Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios to step in on these scripts for Phase 4.
Have they not been?
I think it's very clear that Kevin Feige has been offering creative freedom to the directors and writers.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I don't think that's turning out great for the MCU.
That's so interesting. I didn't.
4 out of 6 movies released of Phase 4 have gotten not poor reviews, underwhelming responses.
Well, I think the other thing about these ones is that there is absolutely no clear end goal. I thought what this phase was supposed to be about was all about like the multiverse situation. But even a whole fucking movie that was about the multiverse actually had nothing to do with all of the other things that had been leading to that.
It was called the Multiverse of Madness. They went to one universe where there was the Illuminati and that was it.
And the reason why they went to the multiverse had nothing to do with all of the things that they'd been hinting at about the multiverse in the other movies, like in No Way Home when Doctor Strange accidentally
I
opened
do
it.
still think it's leading towards, in the comics, there's a storyline called Secret Wars, which is an Avengers storyline. Jesus, where
Are they doing another Avengers movie?
Yeah, eventually. An Avengers movie. It's a Avengers story where, because of all the multiverse traveling and mixing, an incursion has been triggered of our universe, of the main universe. And it's all about alternate versions of these characters coming together to try and save the universes, the multiverse, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're leading towards. And I think that it's being weaved through with Kang the Conqueror, who is in Loki.
Right.
That villain, who's going to show up in Ant-Man. I think those two are being kind of weaved together.
Right.
And that so it is still about the multiverse leading towards that. It's just very unclear.
It is really unclear. I also think because they haven't
punch up the scripts a bit.
Yeah, and because there's no... With the first 3 phases, the end of the phase was always marked by an Avengers movie, and so you always knew what you were kind of leading towards.
Yeah.
Whereas in this phase, it's like, is there another... What's the movie where they're all going to be together? As opposed to this, where they're all in each other's movies. And it's like, what's going on here? Am I supposed to be a standalone film, but with other characters? What is this about? Where are we going with this? You know,
fair.
It feels very pointless.
Yeah, where it was once relegated to small cameos.
Yeah.
It's now...
They're all
getting in each other's shit.
Yeah. And it feels so pointless. It's like, why are we still making these movies if we're not doing any... Like, where are we going with this?
Yeah,
I
think it will be back to Avengers movies. It's just the phases are going to be double the length that they were. So
whack.
I don't think the next Avengers movie will be till probably like 2026 or 7. Whereas previous phases lasted 3 years.
And they only had 6 movies in them.
And between 6 and 8 movies each phase. And now it's doubled that to between 4 and 6 years for a phase.
And there's already been like fucking 10 pieces of media for this phase.
There's been like 10 Disney Plus shows so far.
Oh my God. Horrific.
Anyway, go watch Miss Marvel.
Okay. I haven't watched Miss Marvel or Moon Knight.
Oh, Moon Knight's fun. First episode of Moon Knight, horrifically bad. Every other episode, exponentially better.
Okay. All right, I'll give it a go.
Miss Marvel, consistently good. My brief review of Miss Marvel is that I really, really love it. The characters are all fun. It has some really fun cultural aspects and like historical storylines, which is very fun. But it does still suffer from the Disney Plus Marvel show 6-episode pacing issue, where it feels like a movie split into 6.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel has some real issues this phase.
I don't know.
Is my conclusion.
I think Moon Knight, WandaVision, and Loki were the only Disney Plus shows that have actually been written as shows.
Yeah, that's fair.
It feels like it anyway.
That's fair.
You know, anyway.
Okay. We should wrap up.
We should.
It's been so long.
Quickly, Maddie, what the fuck of the weeks? What the fuck
God.
of the week this week?
Mine's so good.
is people on social media already being so down on Drag Race Down Under Season 2. I really desperately want people to go in with an open mind and not already be hating on it because of Season 1. Give, like, the promos are good. The Meet the Queens are good. Stop shitting on it just because it has a lower budget, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be fun.
I mean, there's no reason
Give it the
to
benefit
shit
of the
on
doubt.
it. Yeah.
And also...
Australian people are funny. Just because they say cunts all the time doesn't mean they're not.
It's literally a celebration of queer people and queer art.
Yeah.
Go into it with an open mind. Stop being so cynical about it, and you will have fun watching the show.
Accurate.
Period.
So
Anyway,
true.
what's your what the fuck of the week?
My thing's way more serious than that.
Oh, no.
It is that. You probably already know this because you're so all over the news. Last week, the week before, there was a case of diphtheria in a 2-year-old in New South Wales. The first case we've had here in Australia in 100 years. It was basically eradicated because of vaccinations. This kid was not vaccinated, and that's why he got it. Yeah. Anyway, so my what the fuck is... What? Get your fucking children vaccinated. I genuinely... Like, COVID is one thing in terms of vaccinations. I don't get it at all why you wouldn't get vaccinated, but it's like COVID is like its whole own thing because of the whole mandated situation and the shutdown and the whatever. These diseases that we have eradicated, that people have been getting vaccinations for literally 100 years.
Yeah, there's 100 years of proof.
Yeah, like what is the deal? Why would you not do that? Why would you bring back a disease just because you don't think, or because for some fucking reason you think that having a vaccination is going to give your kid autism, which it's not. Even if it did, pretty sure that's better than dying from a preventable disease.
Yeah.
Anyway, horrific. Absolutely horrific. It's made me so mad for 2 weeks. I'm not happy about it. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
All bad.
Yep.
And you're bad parents if
Yep.
you don't get your kid vaccinated, to be honest.
I fucking agree.
Yeah.
If you don't give your children medicine because it's not natural or whatever.
Yeah.
I will say that you deserve to have CPS called on you.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Like if your child is in pain because you don't want to give them
Yeah.
Panadol,
Yeah. That's fucked up.
you're a bad parent.
It's true.
And I mean that with my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, Maddie.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a big episode. Anyway.
It was a big episode.
Well, exactly 1 hour.
Perfect.
You have a client coming to record. I have
do.
to go. So,
Goodbye.
wait, what are your socials? Lady Alice 101 on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, at Harness Creation on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, harnesscreation.com.au. Did you really know that they're introducing a new URL thing where it's just like harnesscreation.au?
I did vaguely see that, but I didn't also
Anyway.
read it, so I didn't know.
If you want to follow the pod, you can at WTF podcast on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. All the links down below as usual, including any audio, visuals, trailers for stuff we talked about.
Whack.
Thanks.
I don't know how you remember that.
Oh, me neither, bro. Thanks so much for listening to What the
What
Fuck
the
is
Fuck's Happening? The podcast. Bye.
Bye.